G'day everyone, back with the final installment of the Gripping Beast Strathclyde Saga warband that I've been painting over a period of time. You have seen some previous episodes if you've been following the channel, and this time I pushed on and got everything finished. And what you can see in front of you here right now are the 12-figure Levy unit for the Saga warband. As I said, these are all metal Gripping Beast figures. They in the Saga book and in the Age of Vikings, they come under Welsh, and they are being used by my customer as Strathclyde Welsh. So there's a lot of mounted units. Yeah, and these are the this is the only component that he's using like foot troops with throwing spears basically. You'll see that some of them have got small shields. Now there weren't actually enough of these small shields in what I was supplied to give everyone a small shield. I did add 2 or 3 more from my stash of bits and bobs, just to give some more of them some sort of bucklers or shields. But the others, as you can see, there's three there that have got holding like 2 spears instead, or 2 throwing spears. I think the rule classifies them as javelins, but we'll, you know, javelins, light throwing spears, whatever you want to call them. So there, that's them. Again, used sort of typical palette that I would use for like a Levy class of troop. I tend to use sort of more muted tones, as you can see from these guys. So what I'll do now, I'll pause the video, come back, and we'll have some of the mounted guys to show you. As always, there will be stills of these figures so you can have a better look at them, and some with like multiple views as well, so you can better see what they're like at the end of the video. Okay, back directly. Okay, here we are back with some of the mounted Hearthguard guys, with a variety of horse colours, hair colours, shield designs. Yeah, I really took my time with the whole project, really. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with how they come out. It's nice to paint a variety. As I said, I've done a footsore miniatures Strathclyde warband before, and it's really interesting to do the Gripping Beast Strathclyde warband as well. So I really like this guy here. He's with he's just got some throwing javelins, shorter throwing javelins there. Yeah, variety of colours being used for the clothing. You know, still, you know, kind of muted, but some richer tones and brighter colours than certainly the Levies. And some nice shield decals provided from Little Big Men Studios. Again, there will be photos at the end, so you can get a better idea of what these guys look like. Quite like the look of that guy. He looks quite fierce. And I'm pleased with how the shield turned out. Yeah. So I've been, with the horse painting, I've been sort of using a combination of things, of mixture of some tube acrylics and some just normal acrylics from the bottle. Been using and a bit of black tube acrylic to wash in or block in some of the manes and tails and things like that. Just mixing it up a bit. I seem to use different techniques at different times. Yeah. So the shields as well. Some of the Leadbear Big Man Studios shield decals are kind of pre-weathered, but I give everything an extra sort of layer of weathering as well. I do the shield edging in flat earth for a sort of beaten weather look edge, and also give like a glaze or a wash of like a Vallejo Game Colour Smoky Ink or Reaper Brown Liner. It's kind of glazed over to make it look even further weathered. Oops, sorry about the camera. There's an interesting guy with his tassel jacket and stuff. Excuse my hands getting in the way. Yeah. They're these sculpts tend to have quite stylized cloaks and things, which are actually quite easy to paint and to get sort of smoothish sort of looking blends and things like that on them. I'm quite pleased with how this grey horse came out. It's nice like that. Alright, I'll pause again and I'll bring out the final 4 mounted figures, which are kind of like personality figures. Back directly. Okay guys, here they are. Now spent a lot of time on these guys. Great fun to paint. I don't know if you've noticed a lot of the bases, or not so much on all of the Levy ones, but I think on most of the mounted ones, there's at least one tuft of like a heather tuft. And on the command base, the big round one, there's quite a few there. Yeah, all the others have at least got one heather tuft for these Strathclyde guys. Now, hopefully I've been able to knock most of the sheen off the standard. It's had multiple coats of varnish. That's a little Big Man Studios standard, small standard that was sent, and yeah, it fits nicely. I'm pleased with the colour scheme, how it fits with the green and the red that's also included on the character holding it. He's got a reddish horse, he's got a red cloak, he's got the green and black on his shield, and I like the combination of colours, and also complements the commander guy who's got that nice red, which is a good complement to the green, and he's got the creamy colours and stuff. You also see some of those other colours echoed even in the painted cross. Now, I've gone for a painted cross rather than gold. It'd be mighty heavy if he was carrying a solid gold one. And there's some quite serious speculation that indeed a lot of statues, and we're fairly certain that even statues in ancient times, Roman times and perhaps earlier, were actually painted, and that they wouldn't have been this white marble that we see today. That the original statues were painted, and it was the same with a lot of other artworks. And there's some speculation that even the Celtic crosses, stone crosses in Britain and Ireland that still remain, would have originally had some coloured applied to them, and would have helped them stand out a lot more. And there's certainly records of the early Anglo-Saxon churches having painted scenes, Bible scenes and stuff like that on the walls. And I've seen this concept of a painted cross in other references as well. So I thought, rather than just go make it gold, let's give it some colour. And I thought that seems to work pretty well. I'm really quite pleased with how that turned out. So you've got a bardic kind of dude here, or with his harp held high, singing or something. He's armed with a bit of a club, on a nice grey horse there. Trying to use the complementary colours of the blues and the yellows. So I always sort of try and get colours that I feel work together. The monk, I've spent a lot of time trying to, on his face and on the light sort of falling on the top of his tunic sort of thing, his grey tunic. Made him fair-haired. British monks he may have been like from the Iona guys, you know. So I've put some sort of brassy sort of straps on the back to give it support, but yeah, tried to do lots of fine lines on the cloak to show the sort of roughness of the cloth, but also the light falling onto it and onto his face, because obviously he's got a lot of forehead there. He's in the style, I think it may have been the style for the British monks to shave their heads back like that. So there's a lot of light showing. Here's the standard bearer. Give him a bit more of a twirl. You can see. Holding aloft his banner. And there's his red cloak. Nice compliment you got, because it echoes, you know, the red. You've got the red in the banner as well, and in his cloak. So yeah, really happy with that, how those turned out. And here's the main man. Now this I was inspired by the old Angus MacBride painting from Arthur and the Anglo-Saxon Wars, from the cover of that, of Arthur rearing up on his horse. There we are. I'll just get the book down. See if I can find somewhere to wedge that back there. Yeah, there we go. There he is. So, yeah, inspired a bit like that. So, I mean, it's clearly not the same sculpt. I mean, same design. I mean, it's kind of, there's some sort of nod towards it with the rearing horse, and you've got the scale armor and things, and the cloak and the helmet. That this guy doesn't have a crest on his helmet. I mean, I could have got really carried away and sculpted one on, but yeah, but also even his horse blanket is similar, and I've tried to use similar colours to what Angus MacBride has used. So the actual colour palette of his clothing is relatively simple. It's that sort of creamy ivory colours with the red banding, and really a strong, giving him a really strong red cloak and a nice white horse that I've tried to make it similar to the one in the Angus MacBride picture, rearing up with the heather. Now, I spent a lot of time on the base as well. I'll show you this red cloak. There we go. Nice and strong, and that yellow. Nice saddle blanket. yeah, and it's a fine looking horse as well. It's nice looking sculpt. Turns out well, and really, you know, I gave it some nice sort of bling on the scale here. Some really quite tiny bright highlights, and tried to make the helmet quite shiny as well, just that polished steel look. Yeah, and took a bit of time on the base. There's the base has been built up quite a bit. I put small stones, pieces of like little chunks of pine bark, and then lots of PVA, and then another layer of kind of coarser gravel, and then final layers of like a really fine sand, and then lots of washes and dry brushing and overpainting, and then a lot of it gets covered with tufts anyway. But yeah, he's got plenty of heather on there, and so it gives you some sort of rough, rocky, rugged terrain. Really chuffed with how that turned out. I'd be pleased to have that on my table, that's for sure. I hope my customer enjoys it. So yeah, really great fun. And there they are. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that look at what I've just finished, and not sure what I'm up to next. There's stuff in the queue. There might be some more Carthaginians, and some other things. We'll see what's next. Yeah, so as always, there'll be some stills to follow this, and thanks for all the new subscribers. We're growing along bit by bit, which is great to see. And thanks for all the comments, guys. I really appreciate comments, and I do always try to reply to them in some way, even if it's just a thank you. And but if you have questions, I do try my best to answer them in a timely fashion. I do try and check quite regularly. So I'm sorry if I miss your comment or come to it late, but I do try and keep up with those, and I really appreciate the interaction, as I've said before. So yeah, if this is the first time you've come across this channel, please feel free to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. You can always decide to ditch it later if you don't like it. Yeah, I don't always have content every week because I'm working my way through projects, and but I do have regular content, and I hope it's of interest. It's not always Dark Age stuff. I do a lot of other things from a variety of periods, and happy to answer people's questions. All right, guys, great to have you watching again, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. All the best, and bye for now.